Welcome back, everybody, to No, It's You, Not Me. Thanks for tuning in to the Whisper Files. I'm Anthony. Let's get started. Today, we're going to talk about the phantom time hypothesis. Strap in, everyone. Today, on the Whisper Files, we're tackling one of the strangest, most hotly debated theories of history, the phantom time hypothesis. This one's a ride. Imagine this. What if nearly 3 centuries of human history never actually happened? Yep, you heard that right. According to the theory, the so called early Middle Ages, from roughly 614 to 911 AD, are pure fiction. This bizarre idea was first floated in the 1990s by German historian Heribert Illig, who argued that a trio of powerful figures, Holy Roman Empire Otto III, Pope Sylvester II, and Byzantine Emperor Constantine VII, were behind an enormous historical cover up. Their goal, to fiddle with the calendar so it appeared they were living in the year 1000 AD, a number packed with symbolic weight. Now, apparently, being alive in the year 1000 was the ultimate flex, and these rulers wanted the bragging rights. So, how'd they pull this off? By doctoring records, rewriting history, and inserting phantom years into our timeline. And the kicker? Illig claims this explains why the early Middle Ages feel like a cultural dead zone. Not much innovation, very little records, just knights and castles hanging around with nothing to show for it. He even went so far as to suggest that Charlemagne, a figure etched into our textbooks, might have been nothing more than medieval fanfiction. Imagine erasing 300 years of history. That's like saying the entire 1800s never happened. No Napoleon, no Beethoven, no railroads, and if Charlemagne were fake, then someone went full medieval Bansky, scattering statues and coins across Europe just to mess with us. Illig's theory rests on 3 main pillars: calendar problems, a suspicious lack of architecture, and historical oddities. Now, the calendar issues: when Pope Gregory VIII introduced the Gregorian calendar in 1582, it was designed to fix mistakes in the Julian calendar. Illig's conclusion: someone padded the time. As far as architecture, very little survives from those phantom years. What does exist, like the Aachen Cathedral, seems to advance for the time era. Historical stagnation. Europe and Byzantium both appear oddly stagnant during this stretch, almost as if civilizations just pressed pause. So basically, humanity took a 300-year nap, and nobody noticed. And the missing architecture. Let's be real. Modern developers can throw up a Starbucks in 6 weeks. Maybe medieval builders weren't cranking out monuments nonstop. And as for the so called stagnation, maybe people were just busy dodging plagues and inventing cheese. But let's say, for argument's sake, the phantom time hypothesis is true. how would they actually pull it off? Think about it. They'd need forged charters, fake decrees, counterfeit chronicles, planned artifacts, retroactive cathedrals, and astronomical trickery to line up celestial events with the altered timelines. That's a monumental effort. I mean, we struggle to coordinate a group chat dinner plan, and here supposedly emperors with popes conspired to rewrite centuries of history without leaving behind a simple oops memo. Not to mention, what was the payoff? Congrats, you're living in the year 1000. Meanwhile, peasants are still plowing fields and growing turnips. It doesn't exactly scream masterstroke. Even if Phantom Time doesn't hold up, it shines a light on the oddities of the Middle Ages. Maybe it wasn't missing years, just missing context. Records were scarce because writing was mostly confined to monasteries. Renaissance scholars later painted this period as a dull gap between Rome and their own cultural rebirth. But in truth, the Middle Ages brought us universities, mechanical clocks, and Gothic architecture. So maybe it's less a dark age and more like history's middle child, ignored, underappreciated, but actually pretty interesting if you pay attention. But of course, most historians dismiss Illig's claims outright. Why? Because we have coins, manuscripts, architecture, and astronomical records from the supposed missing centuries. Eclipses line up exactly as medieval scholars recorded them. Something that would be impossible if centuries were fabricated. And outside of Europe, China, and the Islamic world have detailed histories that fit perfectly into the same time frame. For Phantom Time to be real, you need a global conspiracy. And honestly, we can't even agree on how to pronounce GIF, let alone fake the world's history in unison. Let's play with the logistics again. To erase 300 years, you need endless scribes, forgers, and builders all in on the act, never slipping up. That's harder than planning a medieval royal wedding. And the paperwork, forget it. Somewhere there be letters like, Dear ma'am, today we invented a new century. Pass the stew. So why does the theory still attract believers? Because it's a killer story. Secret emperors, shady popes, a timeline stretched like elastic. It's practically a historical thriller. And since the Middle Ages really do feel murky compared to other eras, people find it satisfying to imagine those gaps explained away. Plus, questioning history feels kind of like playing detective. The idea has popped up everywhere: sci fi shows, fantasy novels, and video games like Assassin's Creed, which loves bending history into wild conspiracies. If nothing else, Phantom Time has been great inspiration for fiction. Someone called We've got ourselves a medieval Matrix. But okay, what if Illig was right? Then technically we'd be living in 1725 right now. Y2K? Forget about it. We'd have missed the millennium entirely. It would mean whole cultural gaps make sense. because they never happened. And it would raise bigger questions. If history can't be trusted, what else can't we trust? Science? Maps? Expiration dates? Even if it's false, it's a reminder that history is messy, subjective, and often written by those in power. It's a giant game of telephone passed through centuries. So, did we lose 300 years of history? Most experts say absolutely not. But the phantom time hypothesis is still a fascinating thought experiment. A reminder that our understanding of the past is always shifting. Maybe there aren't phantom centuries, but history is full of blind spots, biases, and mysteries. And that's why people keep revisiting theories like this. Because deep down, we love the idea of a hidden plot lurking in the footnotes of our past. So, what do you think? Was the Middle Ages a massive hoax or just a misunderstood period of time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Hi, everybody. You've been watching No, It's You, Not Me, the channel that exposes the lies, cracks the myths, and makes you laugh while doing it. Hit that like and subscribe button and share with a friend who swears they know the truth. Because if it's not you, it's them every single time.